Emergence of DeepSeek now putting pressure on the U.S. tech names.
It's super impressive. I think we should take the development out of China very, very seriously.
DeepSeek just taught us that the answer is less than people thought. You don't need as much cash as we once thought.
Can you imagine how annoying it is to see you build your house for $50 million and a guy next door builds the same house for $700,000? That's got to be frustrating.
What be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused?
That necessity is the mother of invention.
Move over, ChatGPT. Silicon Valley's golden child has some serious competition, and it's coming from the East.
The founder of Chinese startup DeepSeek was little known until this week when the company burst onto the international scene.
Meet Liang Wenfeng, the visionary founder of DeepSeek, the Chinese tech giant that's rewriting the rules of artificial intelligence and making waves across the globe. While Silicon Valley was busy patting itself on the back, this Chinese entrepreneur quietly built an empire that's not just rivaling the West, but leaving it in the dust. Let's dive into the incredible story of Liang Wenfeng, a story filled with twists, surprises, and a relentless drive to break every mold. And just when you think you've heard it all, what astonishing move could be next? From Mililing Village to the global stage, imagine a quiet, unassuming village in southern China. Mililing, located in Zhanjiang, Guangdong Province, is the kind of place that most people pass by without a second thought. It's remote, modest, and far removed from the bustling tech hubs of Beijing or Shanghai. Yet, it's from this very place that Liang Wenfeng began his remarkable journey. Born into humble beginnings, Liang didn't have the luxury of the high-tech, high-visibility childhood many of today's tech moguls enjoy. In Mililing, life was simple. Neighbors exchanged greetings in narrow lanes, and the biggest events were local festivals celebrated with genuine warmth. But even in such a setting, young Liang was anything but ordinary. While other kids spent their days playing, Liang's mind was already captivated by numbers and puzzles. Stories from his village recount that he was solving advanced mathematics problems in high-level math, even while most of his peers were still grappling with the basics. Could it be that the spark of genius was ignited early on? The answer seems to be a resounding yes. His exceptional talent did not go unnoticed. Teachers and family alike recognized his brilliance, setting him on a path that would eventually take him far beyond the quiet lanes of Mililing. The transformative years at Zhejiang University. Fast forward to the early 2000s. Liang's intellectual prowess earned him a coveted spot at Zhejiang University, one of China's top academic institutions. Between 2002 and 2010, while many of his classmates focused on conventional career paths, Liang immersed himself in the world of mathematics and computer science. At Zhejiang University, his passion for solving complex problems took a sharp turn toward machine learning. While the campus buzzed with discussions of engineering feats and technological advancements, Liang was laying the groundwork for a future that would change the way we think about artificial intelligence. One might wonder, what was it about those formative years that set him apart from the rest? It wasn't just the curriculum, it was Liang's insatiable curiosity. He was driven by questions like, how can we make machines learn from experience? And, is it possible to predict market trends using algorithms? His academic projects weren't just assignments. They were experiments in reimagining what technology could do. And this early fascination with machine learning would soon find its first practical application in the world of finance. Entering the financial arena. High flyer quant. By 2015, Liang's talent had already started to turn heads beyond academia. While many might have chosen to pursue a steady career in research or engineering, Liang saw an opportunity where others saw risk. In 2015, he co-founded High Flyer Quant, a quantitative hedge fund that was built on the power of AI. High Flyer Quant was no ordinary fund. In an industry traditionally ruled by intuition and long-established methods, Liang's approach was radically different. He applied deep learning algorithms to analyze vast amounts of financial data, stock prices, economic reports, and even market sentiment derived from news sources. The idea was as daring as it was brilliant. If AI could learn to predict market trends, it could execute trades with an efficiency that far outpaced human traders. The results were nothing short of astonishing. High Flyer Quant quickly became one of China's leading quantitative hedge funds. Its success was a testament to the idea that algorithms, when honed and fine-tuned by a mind like Liang's, could not only compete with but outmaneuver traditional methods. But why stop at finance? For Liang Wenfeng, the success of High Flyer Quant was just the beginning. It was a proving ground, a place where he could test his ideas, learn from the challenges, and build a reputation as someone who wasn't afraid to rewrite the rules. And as the world of finance embraced his innovations, Liang's mind was already turning to a bigger, bolder vision: the birth of DeepSeek, a new era in AI. In 2023, Liang Wenfeng made a decisive pivot. With High Flyer Quant flourishing and his reputation solidified in the world of finance, he set his sights on a new frontier: artificial intelligence. And so, DeepSeek was born. What exactly is DeepSeek?
The DeepSeek rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
At its core, DeepSeek is an AI company designed to challenge the established giants of the industry. While companies like OpenAI were spending billions on training models with massive computational power, DeepSeek took a different approach. Liang's vision was clear. Why spend billions when you can achieve similar, if not superior, results with a more efficient, cost-effective process? DeepSeek's models soon began to make headlines around the globe. They were designed to operate under constraints that would cripple traditional AI labs. With limited access to high-powered semiconductors, especially given the tightening U.S. restrictions on tech exports to China, DeepSeek's engineers had to innovate. And innovate they did. Imagine a scenario where instead of relying on the latest, most expensive NVIDIA chips, you can build a world-class AI model using older, more accessible hardware. That's precisely what DeepSeek accomplished.
Like a week ago, when you think about that picture of the tech bros next to the president and then them announcing $500 billion for Stargate, this big project for AI.
By optimizing their algorithms and training processes, they managed to create models that not only held their own against the best from Silicon Valley, but, in many cases, outperformed them on critical benchmarks. This wasn't just innovation, it was a revolution in efficiency. But what drove Liang to take such a bold step? Was it simply ambition, or was there something more? The answer lies in his deep-seated belief that innovation should be accessible, efficient, and above all, open. DeepSeek was built on principles that contrasted sharply with the closed, expensive nature of Western AI research. In a world where AI development was becoming an arms race of resources, Liang chose the road less traveled: the philosophy of efficiency, outwitting the giants. In traditional narratives of success, the assumption is that more resources equal better results. Silicon Valley's approach has long been to invest massive sums into computational power, building huge clusters of the latest GPUs and pouring in billions to fine-tune models. Liang's strategy, however, was to work smarter, not harder. He asked, what if we could achieve top-tier performance with just a fraction of the computational load? The answer lay in optimizing every single part of the AI training process. DeepSeek's engineers adopted methods like reinforcement learning, where models learn by trial and error much like humans do.
In this assay of Blackwell, our grand strategy is to be dominant.
They also refined techniques to distill large models into smaller, more efficient ones. This meant that even when using older, less powerful chips, their AI could still perform at a level that rivaled and sometimes exceeded that of models built on the bleeding edge of technology. This philosophy of efficiency was more than just a technical innovation. It was a strategic masterstroke. At a time when U.S. authorities were clamping down on China's access to the most advanced semiconductor technology, Liang's approach ensured that DeepSeek wasn't held back by external constraints. It was a bold demonstration that true innovation lies in how you use what you have, not in having unlimited resources. And yet, for every answer Liang provided, new questions emerged. How would the established tech giants respond to this challenge? Would they be forced to rethink their own strategies? And, most intriguingly, could this new model of efficiency drive the next wave of global AI innovation? The homecoming, hometown pride, and global recognition. As if his professional achievements weren't impressive enough, Liang Wenfeng's personal story took on an almost cinematic quality. In early 2025, during the Lunar New Year, a time of reunion and reflection, Liang made a highly symbolic return to his roots. He journeyed back to Mililing, the very village where his extraordinary story began. But this wasn't a quiet visit. The entire village turned out to celebrate the man who had become their local legend. On his arrival, a huge red banner was hoisted declaring him Hometown Pride. Social media exploded with photos and posts celebrating his return. Tourists, curious about the birthplace of an AI prodigy, began flocking to the village. What was once a remote, overlooked community was suddenly buzzing with excitement and newfound attention. For Liang, this homecoming was a reminder of where he started. It was a moment of reflection on how far he had come, and a signal that his journey was far from over. Could a man from a small village really alter the course of global technology? If his past was any indication, the future was brimming with possibilities. Inspiration from the legends, Jim Simons and beyond. Behind every great innovator is a mentor or inspiration, and Liang Wenfeng is no exception. He has openly expressed admiration for Jim Simons, the renowned American mathematician and hedge fund manager behind Renaissance Technologies.
I knew that existed, and it had a very good policy because you could do half your time at your own mathematics.
Simons' ability to model and predict market trends using complex algorithms has been nothing short of legendary, and it resonated deeply with Liang during his early years in quantitative trading. So much so that Liang even wrote the preface for the Chinese edition of The Man Who Solved the Market, a book that delves into Simons' groundbreaking work. In his preface, Liang recalled Simons' oft-quoted words, "There must be a way to model prices." For Liang, these words weren't just about finance, they were a mantra. They encapsulated the belief that every complex system, no matter how chaotic it might seem, could be understood, predicted, and even mastered with the right approach. This philosophy of looking beyond conventional limits is what has allowed Liang to continuously push the boundaries. Whether he was developing algorithms for high-flyer quant or fine-tuning the next generation of AI models at DeepSeek, his approach was always to question the status quo. And each time he did, he proved that the seemingly impossible was well within reach. The disruptor's impact, changing the global AI landscape. DeepSeek's rise wasn't just a win for Liang, it was a wake-up call for the entire AI community. As news of DeepSeek's efficient, high-performing models spread, the tech world began to take notice. Silicon Valley, long accustomed to its uncontested lead in AI research, suddenly found itself in a precarious position. The question on everyone's mind was, could a small company from China, operating on a fraction of the budget, really challenge the established giants? The answer, as demonstrated by DeepSeek's performance in global benchmark tests, was yes. By optimizing resource usage and focusing on lean, efficient operations, DeepSeek was able to achieve results that not only matched, but in some cases surpassed those of models built with far more computational firepower. This achievement forced Western tech companies to reconsider their approach. Was it time to shift from a more is better philosophy to one that valued smart engineering and efficiency. Liang Wenfeng's work with DeepSeek was a clear signal. Innovation isn't solely about having deep pockets. It's about vision, ingenuity, and the willingness to take risks. And as regulatory pressures and geopolitical tensions made it increasingly difficult for China to access cutting-edge hardware, DeepSeek's strategy of doing more with less. What's next for Liang Wenfeng? As we stand at the crossroads of technological evolution, one can't help but wonder, what's next for Liang Wenfeng? Can one man's vision continue to defy the odds and reshape an entire industry? With DeepSeek setting new standards in AI efficiency, the road ahead is filled with both promise and uncertainty. Consider this. Liang Wenfeng has an estimated net worth of $3.2 billion. Meanwhile, DeepSeek is valued at $1 billion, with some estimates suggesting it could reach as high as $10 billion due to its rapid growth and market impact. Will Liang expand DeepSeek's reach beyond AI to other fields? Could his approach influence global trends in technology, finance, or even government policy? And what challenges lie on the horizon as the world grapples with the ethical, economic, and geopolitical implications of a new AI era? These questions keep us on the edge of our seats, waiting for the next chapter in a story that's far from over. One thing is certain. Liang Wenfeng's journey from solving advanced math problems in a small village to leading one of the world's most disruptive AI companies is a testament to the power of determination and the spirit of innovation. His story challenges conventional wisdom and dares us to ask, if a man from Mililing can change the world, what limits remain for human ingenuity? This was all from our side today. To see more of our content, check out these videos. See you there.